It can't be. These are exactly the quatrains Father wrote. This is neither the place nor the time. Good evening.
Good evening, Madeleine. You seem tired.
You could say that, but how are you this evening?
I must admit, I feel better, and I'm anxious to hear your story.
Have you ever dreamed the same dream several times?
What kind of dream do you mean?
I saw Philibert, the castle librarian. He was dead, and yet he was looking at me. In certain visions, he was simply sitting down, his eyes staring at me. But in others, I saw him make a sign to me to follow him into a gallery like the one I discovered today under the scriptorium.
That's disturbing. I've only had that sort of dream once, and it was after I found the inscribed fragment of stone.
The same stone that came from the gallery wall, just like Philibert's for that matter.
It would seem as if something's seeking to call out to us, particularly to you.
There was another death. This time, it was the scribe, although I was certain he was part of the plot.
Perhaps you weren't mistaken. Perhaps he became bothersome.
Maybe. In any case, there are only two suspects left, Jean-Amie and Constance.
And which one do you think is guilty?
Jean-Amie.
We'll see if the future proves you right, my girl. In the meantime, I have something to ask you. I have to work tonight in my observatory, but everything's in a frightful mess.
I've got it. I'll set to work right away.
Thank you, Madeleine. I don't know what I'd have done without you. It's magnificent, Madeleine. Don't you think so? I must say you don't disappoint me, young lady. You really do good work. Go rest now. You've certainly deserved it, and I actually need to be alone for a bit.
Father, do you believe that the deceased talked to us?
No, God alone knows the future. Of course, vast knowledge of the universe sometimes allows us to understand its rules and orientations as I do, but not the dead. Those are just superstitions.
Well then, how do you explain that I found ancient symbols in a gallery under the chateau, which, when translated, correspond word for word with the 2 quatrains you wrote?
What are you saying?
I'm saying there's a power here that's beyond us, which inspired the 2 quatrains at the root of this story. I'm also referring to Philibert, who talks to me in my dreams. I don't understand what's expected of me, and that's frightening.
Calm down, Madeleine. I'm quite certain nothing will happen to you. Continue doing what you think is right. The key cannot be elsewhere. Go on to bed now and make yourself some eucalyptus tea. That will keep your bad dreams at bay. As for me, I'll try to understand what this destiny is that you must follow.
This is neither the place nor the time. Good. It's ready. At last, a night without bad dreams. Hopefully, that means a day that'll be less macabre than the previous ones, unless it's just the effect of the potion.
Hello, dear.
Good morning, Father.
Did you dream again?
No, the herbal tea you suggested did its job.
Perfect. You're going to need all your energy today.
Did you find anything interesting?
Just as you thought, the danger hanging over the royal family most certainly concerns the young Henry of Navarre. The predictions I wrote down about this year didn't evoke a curse, but they weren't particularly positive either. And given the events that are occurring, they've taken on a whole new meaning.
What do you mean?
Amongst people, dissension, brutal enmity, war, death of great princes.
But Henry isn't the prince.
Yes, he is. He's the Prince of Navarre. But that's not the problem. Predictions are written to be interpreted and not considered simple truths. Imagine the danger they could represent.
What do I have to do?
I don't know, daughter. This time, I'm afraid I have no answer to offer you. According to my observations, you alone might possess one.
I don't understand.
Shortly before Catherine de Medici arrived, I felt weak. If it hadn't been for that, I would never have sent you off on such an adventure. But today, I feel that it was supposed to happen that way. No one is prisoner of a destiny written in the stars, but some people bear in themselves extraordinary stories and destinies. However this story concludes, you will have an essential role to play in it before the end of the day. I worked on your chart again last night, and a recurring figure asserted itself as if it had kept vigil on your destiny since your birth, and especially today. It's a pentagram. You'll find out how pregnant with meaning this symbol is. And also, consider these words. The key is in the last one. They came to me in the middle of the night like something obvious.
I found a sheet hidden in the missal belonging to the dead scribe. It looks like a recipe, but I don't know what potion it could be.
Let me see. This is impossible. Madeleine, the man isn't dead.
What?
This is for a potion allowing someone to feign death for several hours. It's remarkably effective, but very complicated to prepare.
I'd better be careful. If he's still alive, the scribe might be anywhere. A weapon in good condition would be reassuring. The metal isn't hot enough to be forged. Perfect. I just have to cool the metal and it'll be finished. I don't need these tongs anymore. This would seem to be a note from Philibert. I wonder what in the librarian's research could interest the scribe. Two identities are enough for me for the time being, but this outfit could prove useful. He must have changed the lock. No, it can't be. This story is too morbid for me. All the people I approach die, one after another. I can't pull the sheet out. Her fingers are too stiff. They forced me to be their accomplice. Nostradamus, his son, and his assistant set the whole thing up. I can't bear having betrayed the crown, and I prefer eternal damnation rather than support the eyes of Catherine upon me. What a crock of lies! But it's a clever ploy. Accusing us was the best thing the killer could come up with to succeed in his sinister mission. I have to stop him at all costs.
Mademoiselle Constance.
I'd better not stay here.
Good Lord! Call out the guard! Those astrologists took us for dupes. Constance is dead and left a letter explaining she was their accomplice. You hurry to Nostradamus' house to arrest him. And you take care of his former assistant. You can just lock him up in the guard room. If you need me, I'm going to notify Queen Catherine. We'll deal with the body later.
They're not wasting any time. And even if the letter accuses Nostradamus and Jean-Aimé, I'm afraid neither of my two identities will protect me. The only way to help my father is to elucidate this case and to convince Catherine of his innocence. And to do so, I'm still missing a few elements.
Who are you? And what do you want of me? I have nothing to confess.
Shh, not so loud. I wouldn't be so sure if I were you.
Madeleine, is that you?
Yes, I think so.
But you can also call me César, if you feel like it.
What the...
Don't make that face. César was away, and Catherine would never have accepted that a young girl conduct the investigation. In any case, I sure fooled you.
You did indeed.
Did you know the scribe well?
Well, no. We chatted a bit when we walked. He was pious and cultivated, your classic monk scribe. Nothing unexpected.
You can use the present tense, and as for the unexpected, try this. He's not dead.
But that's impossible. I helped carry him into the chapel.
He took a potion to simulate his death. Father says that those who know of preparations like that are very rare indeed. Do you think he had that sort of knowledge?
No. Besides your father, I've only known one man who knew as much about plants and their properties. Catherine's apothecary. But he's dead.
During your journey here, on the road, in the middle of the night. Is that right?
Good Lord.
I no longer have one murderer to deal with, but two.
Be careful, Madeleine.
Don't worry, and remain calm. It'd be a shame to get yourself skewered before I prove your innocence. I need to learn more about the symbolism of the pentagram.
Go look in my office. You should find an engraving of a pentagram there. It's a 5-pointed star, set in a circle. It can symbolize the magic of the heretics, just as it can knowledge, the 5 elements, or the association of the feminine and masculine principles.
Interesting.
But why that question?
According to my father, the chart of my sky curiously resembles a pentagram.
Androgyny is indeed a countenance you bear well. You really are a young woman full of surprises.
We have no time to lose. They arrested you after they found the body of Constance and a letter in which she said she committed suicide, overwhelmed with remorse after helping you and my father engineer this curse from top to bottom.
That's absurd. Why would we have done that?
Why, to destabilize the crown. Between the astrologer and the heretic, there's just a thin line that someone is trying to push you across very quickly. The killers are powerful people, Jean-Aimé. They're after the young Henry of Navarre, the one whose chart you were to do.
But I told you I didn't know.
That doesn't matter. What counts is who asked you to do it. I have to know now. The guards must already have arrested Nostradamus, and I'm the only one who can get you out of this mess. So talk.
If it's the one who ordered the chart who's behind all this, then we won't get out of it.
Don't be so sure. But for God's sake, tell me who it is.
The Cardinal of Lorraine, the Duc de Guise.
I'm not surprised. If you had had the time to establish young Henry's chart, you'd understand.
If the motive is in the chart, your reasoning doesn't hold water, since I never gave it to him.
You're not the only person who can do a chart. Father was right. The scribe is still alive. I'd better be careful. I might be one of his next victims. They raised the drawbridge, and I have no way to flee or to alert my father.
What do you have to tell me, monk, that is so urgent?
I have come to tell you, my father is innocent of all of which he is accused.
Why am I only slightly surprised to see you enter my rooms disguised like this?
Perhaps you already suspected that César and I are one and the same, and that another disguise, when you come down to it, is hardly surprising. Or maybe you just didn't really believe in Nostradamus's guilt, and one way or another, you were awaiting my arrival.
I think you owe me an explanation.
I have not come to defend my own head. Neither my father, nor Chavigny, nor poor Constance betrayed you.
That's all you found?
I know that no explanation will satisfy you completely, so the only way to convince you is to catch the real guilty party.
And how do you intend to do that?
I discovered a gallery under the chateau that must date from the time of the Celts. According to the notes I found in the rooms of the person I suspect, he knew of its existence and thinks there's a treasure hidden there. I intend to lure him down there. If my observations are correct, the shafts that illuminate the gallery also permit sound to carry. You should be able to hear us from the chapel.
I have, in fact, noticed odd noises.